Legends Total War here, and today we've got a Rating Your Doomstack video covering a Nakai the Wanderer, Sacred Kroxigor Doomstack. So, we've got loads of Sacred Kroxigors, but we've also got a bunch of heroes, so we're just going over them as well. Nakai the Wanderer is very strong here, because he's got the dominating Sword of Cain. He's also got regen. We've got Lord Kroak, who's obviously very powerful. We've got a Heaven's Wizard that I think is on a Engine of the Gods, yep. And we've got 3 Beast Wizards here that are on Pterodon Riders, which I don't know how to feel about that. We've also got a bunch of abilities, because we're playing as Spirit of the Jungle, so we get faction-wide abilities. Now over here we've got 2 armies of High Elves. We've got Tyrion with a fairly basic to late game army, because there's like basic units, late game stuff. Same thing with Alariel, basic units with late game stuff. 2 of the most powerful Lords of the High Elves. And we've got Estalia here. So all of their forces will be able to come on the same time because they're 2 separate factions and they can both have 40 units at a time. I think we're up against about 70 units in total. Now, things to note about this particular Doomstack is that a lot of the powerful things about this army are actually due to faction-wide abilities and Kroak. So one thing that we need to evaluate here is how much damage and how tanky they're going to be compared to other units such as the ancient Stegadon Engine of the Gods, and also how much damage they're going to do. Alright, Estalia is coming from here. We should probably charge at them straight away. Don't give them a chance to meet up with the High Elves, or else like if I just set up over here, for example, and just wait for them all to come at me, I think we will just straight up lose. That's what I think. So I think we should take this battle seriously, because I don't think this army is strong enough to be able to take on anything. I just don't feel like it is. So we'll take it seriously, and we'll just see how much damage. Like, if we walk out of this with no damage, they'll be like, wow, this was an amazing army. But I just don't feel like that's going to happen. Alright, so got these guys here. We're going to have to talk about the Sword of Cain again. So we'll save that for the end of the battle. Because I've got things to say about the Sword of Cain, as many of you guys know. Alright, let's just move up. That's it, we want to crash into them, get them to blob up. So let their missile units attack. Alright, you've got a Tormentor Sword, get over here. Alright, and let's firstly use the buffs, and should we use this? Just wait a little bit longer. Alright, let's use this there. Hopefully just eradicate tons of them. Okay, good, didn't backfire too much on us, and we got plenty of magic. Let's start using that. Now, while this is going in, they've got reinforcements coming in from over here, right? I would like to do something about it. It's going to be a little bit tricky to do this. Oh, shit. Hang on. Damn it. Come on. I got to wait for it to finish before I can cast the next one. If I can time it right, we can kill off most of their reinforcements before they even get here. Really want to keep an eye on that, though. How's that going? Oh, yeah. That did really nicely there. Could have popped that down on them to make them invulnerable to damage. But why waste it on such a piece of shit unit? Alright, how are we going over here? Alright, we need to use Kroak a bit more. There's not that many of them there left to justify that. Just need to get them off the battlefield before the High Elves get here. Good, that's a lot of damage done to those High Elves there. Okay, just a few units left over here. Those are kind of getting away. Alright, I might just quickly get the Pterodon Riders to try to route it. Alright, get all of these guys here to chase after that dude. Actually, you know what? I might summon that on top of it. Alright, we've got loads of arcane conduits which we should use. And really put smack down on that. Okay, Beast Wizards, get back over here. Now the guy left instructions in the email to basically use the Sacred Kroxigors in a blob and just keep buffing them. So that's what we'll do. Follow the instructions. That seems to be the correct thing to do as well. So just keep them distracted. Alright, you get back over here. Maybe use fireballs on that. Just actually use it on the infantry. Who cares? Okay, we've also got these abilities here. Just wait for them to send more of the... No. This looks like a good opportunity. But I'm out of range there. Can we move up a little bit more? Actually, you know what? Let's just use this. Okay, I might use the Curse of the Midnight Wind just to debuff them. Let these guys over here get shot instead of our Kroxigors. Alright, we got this. Let's cast that over there. Still waiting for a good opportunity to use this. Just not really seeing a good one yet. Don't want to waste it. Yeah, good. If they're shooting at us, shooting at the Beast Wizards, they're not shooting at the Kroxigors over here, which are more valuable. Okay, got plenty of wins, got big. I'm gonna go bigger. Alright, I think we just need to get one of these down. And that looks pretty good right there. Put that down on them. So just try to keep them moving just so it's hard for them to hit. Keep generating more wins. Utilize Croak. Yeah, the archers aren't really targeting at us now. Oh look, Estalia's still here. This one here is pretty badly damaged. Let's really focus on Croak's magic. Just ignore the single entities. We're better against the infantry, just ignore Tyrion. Could probably kill the dragons easily enough. Alright, bounce power's looking pretty good. Hey, why don't you go and take out that artillery over there? That'll be worth a decent amount of balance of power. Don't think that's ability's doing much to us. Don't worry about the free bound fireball spells. They are really not useful in this situation here. Taking a beating. Croak's got 1,000 kills. How are you going? You ready to cast that Sword of Cain again? Yeah. Just need to get him into a fight somewhere. So we pop it down on them into melee. I know it's a missile unit, but we do this just to stop them from shooting just for a little bit. Alright, last one of these. Make it count. I don't know where to cast it. There's no real good shots here. It's going to cast in that direction. How'd we go over there? Good, took out the artillery with them. But they seemed like the least of our concern. That's just for getting balance of power. Alright, now that there. Yeah, it's not good at handling single entities. Especially Tyrion. Look at his full fucking strength. We need to get Nakai in there, but it's difficult for him to maneuver in amongst all this big blob. Okay, got some wins. Alright, there's the army losses. Alright, no units got wiped out, but we had a bit of a close call with this one. And yeah, it did like no damage to Tyrion. They're just not good at fighting him. This is particularly useful if you go for a longer battle, which this wasn't that long. I think my biggest problem with this army is actually these guys here. I think they should have been on Engine of the Gods. If I had more of these abilities here, I wouldn't have been so sparing with them. So he got 400 kills, you got 441, you got 1,000 kills. So let's have a look at damage value though. Like 42,000 and 5,000 versus... Yeah, so Kroak was way more valuable than Nakai, even with the Sword of Cain. It's a strong army, there's no doubt about that, but there's definitely things that I take issue with it. And those need to be addressed. Because it is strong, but the enemies that we fought, if we have a look at what we did damage to, we took out, like, infantry. Like, infantry. We didn't take out the Arcane Phoenixes. We killed the dragons. Honestly, dragons are actually quite weak because they go into melee with a bunch of Kroxigors, and you have more of them that are able to attack them than with the Phoenix. So it's a lot easier to do damage. Also, dragons can't get out of combat quite as easily as Arcane Phoenixes. Alariel should have never been sent into melee. That was very silly of them. And we did no damage to Tyrion. So that's a bit of a concern. So it's not very good against single entities. Very good against infantry-based armies, but everything in the game is bloody good against infantry-based armies. Alright, we'll take that. It's kind of like there was a little while ago, somebody sent me a Doomstack, quote-unquote. What's this? We don't need to send the save file back, so I'll just auto-resolve this. Oh, I didn't lose anything anyway. Ooh, last one. And there you get replenishment there. Somebody sent me like a quote-unquote Doomstack, and they went up against 4 full armies of Dread Spears, and like, look at how strong my army is. I'm just like, you've got any Dread Spears? You need 1 wizard. That's it. You need 1 wizard with Flamestorm or something like that, and you'll take it out. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the army was good, but, you know, being able to smash up melee infantry is not that impressive. Okay, so let's evaluate this. With the Beast Wizards here, I have no problem with you putting Beast Wizards in the army. My thoughts here is that 3 Pterodon Riders is too much. I think, let me just have a look here. I think you should have put them on Ancient Stegodon's Engine of the Gods in this particular situation. It largely depends on what you're going up against, right? High Elves don't bring Pterodon Riders. They have too many armor-piercing missiles, or just regular missiles. Too many flying units. Pterodon Riders get wrecked by High Elves. So if you're going up against something like Skaven have good missile units, for sure, but they have no flying units. So you can use... I probably would have actually put the Celestial Wizard on the Pterodon and put the Beast Wizards on the Stegodons, but I would have sent the Heavens Wizard to go and cast Chain Lightning ahead of the army, because obviously Krox's not going to be able to do that because he's too slow. You have to keep Krox with the army. So you thin them out a little bit with the Skink Priest of Heaven. I mean, you could do that with Beasts, with Flock of Doom if you really want to, except it's just not really high impact. So no problem with the Beast Wizards being in the army, but I think they should have been on the mount. It's good that you did at least get them their mount. I don't think it's that much extra of a cost to get it. Now, Sword of Cain. This needs to be addressed. Should the Spirit of the Jungle pick up the Sword of Cain? My thoughts are no. Based on looking at this campaign, I don't think so. And I'll explain why. Now, the thing that we need to use to compare it to is, I think, Warriors of Chaos and Beastmen. Now, Warriors of Chaos and Beastmen, I think, yeah, totally fine if you want to pick up the Sword of Cain. Especially the Warriors of Chaos. Now, the reason why Warriors of Chaos is okay is because when they blow up a settlement, they make so much money from loot. Their upkeep costs don't matter at all, because they need to just be as powerful as possible, and they just plow right through everyone, right? So, making money with late game Chaos is not a problem. So, if you want to pick up the Sword of Cain, not a big deal. Beastmen's a little bit more of a concern, because late game they don't necessarily just plow through everything. But they can do quite a bit more to reduce upkeep costs. So you can have units quite cheap with them. So it's kind of okay. Now, the big thing for a Horde faction, especially for Spirit of the Jungle, is that you are not a force of chaos here. The -40 relations with all factions, I think that's really hurt your campaign a lot. Now, while we could just judge an army based on its ability to do battle, I don't think that that's the most important thing. Your armies are there for you to improve your standing on the campaign map, and if your army has something that's causing problems in your campaign, then that needs to be taken into consideration. And currently, Nakai is causing -40 relations with all factions. Now, if we go into diplomacy here, there is something of a major concern. Now, I haven't played this campaign, so I don't know if he's deliberately gone to war with everyone, or everybody's gone to war with him. But if we have a look at relations here, we can start to see some stuff that just looks a bit off. So we're currently at -43 with Tyrion. Now, if you didn't have the ruler's prejudice, then it'd be at -3. If you didn't have the war, you'd actually be somewhat positive, although it would be declining. Of course, then you wouldn't have the military actions and hero actions against them. So that would be a problem. And you've also got war against people that they like. I think that if you didn't have the Sword of Cain, there was no reason for you to go to war with the High Elves. But, at the same time, it's possible that you went to war with the High Elves to pick up the Sword of Cain in the first place. So, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Did they declare war because you got the Sword of Cain, or did you declare war on them to get the Sword of Cain? Either way, I don't agree with that decision. I don't think you should have gone to war with the High Elves first. You should be definitely focused on securing Lustria here. Like, you did a good job here in Lustria. I mean, it took you a long time, but you did a good job here. This looks good. And then focus on factions that will definitely hate you. I mean, it's pretty much just full order tide out here now. All the forces of disorder are pretty much gone. Not seeing too much Dark Elves out this way. And if you were going to go to war with order tide factions, it would be better for you to go up against them one at a time. If we have a look in this situation here, you have only 2 armies. And you are at war with so many enemies. I can't anticipate that this campaign is going to end well for you. I mean, I know it's not on the hardest difficulty, it's only on a very hard campaign, but there is no way that your armies are going to be able to be everywhere all at once. And you're not going to get the option to defend these settlements personally, and so it's going to be very difficult for you to hold territory outside of Lustria. I mean, you need to finish off with Lustria, right? And then you've got Gorok over here who could push up a bit, maybe. But the Empire and stuff, they're going to be sending armies at you like crazy soon. And I think all of this stuff is going to collapse. So diplomatically, this has fucked you in the campaign. So you're going to lose points for that. It does make Nakai stronger, for sure. But look, based on my prediction, I think if you were to play another 100 turns, I reckon your campaign's... I reckon you're going to lose the campaign, based on what I'm seeing here. Unless you can turn things around with the Order Tide, I actually think you're going to lose. Like, the Dwarfs hate you. They're going to declare war soon. And, they're going to be done with the remainder of some of this stuff fairly soon. Order Tide is just going to destroy you. That's what I think. It doesn't matter how strong your army is. they're just going to send army after army after army, and I think it's largely because you picked up the Sword of Cain. Now, you've got a lot of money, so I'm not really going to take the upkeep cost penalty into consideration too much. You're not going to lose any points based on that. It's really the diplomatic relations that I think is really fucked you in this campaign. When you play as Nakai, you should try to keep the Order-Tide faction, especially at this point in the campaign when they're so strong. You should try to keep them in your favor, because otherwise you're just not going to hold on to these settlements at all, because they're not that defensible. Now, taking the Sword of Cain out of the army, I think that this would be about an 8 out of 10. The Sacred Kroxigors did do very well. They did a decent amount of damage. They lasted a long time. They're very quick to replace. Let me just see, how long would it take to actually replace one? Let me just find it. Yeah, they only take 1 turn, and you get them at rank 6, so that's pretty good, and it's not that expensive. So I definitely think you need to raise another army, right away, because I'm foreseeing this campaign falling to pieces very quickly now that you're at war with the Order-Tide. But yeah, so don't agree with the Sword of Cain being attached to the army based on purely the diplomatic relations. But again, I don't know if you're the one that declared war on them or they started declaring war on you. I'm not entirely sure. But whatever the case is, that diplomatic relations is going to cost you a lot in this campaign, I think. I'd be very surprised if you were to go another 100 turns without either entering a complete stalemate or actually losing a lot of ground, because they're going to just be sending armies everywhere. You're at war with way too many people, and I'm currently seeing that as blaming it on the Sword of Cain. Like, if you didn't have the Sword of Cain, you would have been fairly friendly with them. There's no need to be at war with them. So yeah, I'm definitely foreseeing problems with that. But anyway, that's the end of this one. I'm giving this 8 out of 10. I think it was way stronger than I thought it was going to be. Kroak was obviously the backbone of the army. He's able to kill off like half of their units. The wizards were fine. You just need to shuffle them around a little bit. But otherwise, I think it's a good combination. Just take out the Sword of Cain from the army. I really think it's hurt you a lot. And try to repair relations with Bretonnia. Focus on one enemy at a time and raise a couple more armies. You got enough money to afford it. Don't worry about being in negative. Just be aggressive against one particular faction. Just take them out one at a time. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with my assessment on the Sword of Cain in this particular situation. Like I said, just to reiterate, didn't lose any points based on increased upkeep costs or public order. It's the diplomatic relations that I think is going to kill him here. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.